Creating a SharePoint list can be a great benefit, and today what we're going to do is we're going to explore how to create a list of reminders. So here, let's say for example you have a due date and now you want to send out an email message to multiple people on different date increments. Now this is going to involve setting up a SharePoint list as well as setting up Power Automate to send out those email messages. But today we're going to go over how to set up a SharePoint list using a calculated field using a calculation on a date field. So stay tuned. This really sounds more complicated than it is. Stay tuned. We're going to jump right to it. So the first thing we need to do then is go right into SharePoint itself. Now we can create this list using the list function here. So I don't know which way you want to see it today. Let's go ahead and do it through Microsoft Lists, and I'll kind of show you both ways. So here we want to create a blank list inside of lists. If we were inside of SharePoint, we would go to the SharePoint site. Remember, you'll have multiple sites, so you'll click down into the site and then we'll go new list right there, and it'll look exactly the same. Okay, literally exactly the same. So there you go right there. And then we're going to say create a blank list, and we're just going to name this date test, and then we can give it an icon. But notice here, this is a critical thing. Here we want to select which site it goes into, and for this example we're going to go into personal, and we're going to show it in its site navigation, and we're going to do the rocket ship. Let's hit create. Now this is going to create a list for us. And here we're working within lists, but if we go over to personal here, may have to do a refresh. We go over to personal, go down to site well, there it is right there, date test, or we can go into site content. So I'm going to work, I guess, out of Microsoft Lists since I started there, but again, I'll keep flipping back to here because it's pretty much the same whether you do it in SharePoint or lists. So here I want to add a column. And here I'm just going to add a date and time column. I'm going to call this column due date. Okay, and I'm going to hit save. Easy enough. Now I'm just going to say that I want to do a 7-day. I just want to do it 7 days back. So if I have a due date of the 7th, I want a notice to appear on the 1st or the 31st, right? So here, to do this, I'm going to hit add a column and go to more. And when it comes up, it's going to give me this. I'm going to say 7-day past. And I'm going to call it a calculated field right there. Okay. And then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to say due date. This is the field. This is, remember we just created that. Due date minus 7. Okay. And the output that I want, and this is important because a lot of people seem to forget this, I want it to output as a date and time, and I only want the date, I don't want the time. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, so we have one called due date, one called title, and one called 7-day past. Now for the title, let's just go ahead and edit this in grid view. We're just going to put notify one. Let me see here, Sam's party. Okay, now we're going to put the due date as the 7th. Okay, now remember right there, the 7th. Now we're not going to put anything here, and when we go to this field, notice it's read only, and the reason for that is because it is a calculated field. And I'm going to just use my tab key. I'm going to go to the next item, and notice here that it put in the date 5/31. Now the due date was the 7th. It went back 7 days, which is the 31st. Now if I change this to be the 8th, all right, it'll change it to the 1st. Pretty easy, right? So now I can take and add as many of these past dates as I want. And the next video, so look for the next video here, is going to be on taking this date, using these dates, 7-day past, let's say 30-day, or we could do 7 days in advance. Do you want to do one of those real quick? Let's just do one of those real quick. We're going to say again, we're going to say add a column, and we're going to say more column types. and we're going to say 7 day, 7 day future. Okay, so this is past the date. Again, this is kind of a review for you. It's a calculated field built on the due date. Instead of doing a minus, we're going to do a +7. And we're going to do the output as date and time and hit OK. Now, that will give us the date moving forward. So 8 plus 7 is 15. So pretty simple stuff. We can calculate this out any way that we want. You can see that you can get very creative with just using dates and calculated fields within the list. And again, tune into the other video that's going to take this data. We're going to send emails based on the dates that we see within these columns.